In this lesson, we're going to show you how to reinforce a structure perpendicular to its face. First, let's go into 3D view. Now, let's zoom in and look at this beam. We want to add a horizontal bar to help reinforce it. There's a couple of different ways that we can get started with all this. We already have a single stirrup, so let's start from that. So in order to begin working with it, we're going to go back to the section view that we previously created that contains the stirrup. So open up that section view from the project browser, and then go to the View tab and click Tile. Now we can expand our section view, so we can work with it individually. From the section view, go ahead and drag down the part of the stirrup that sticks out of the beam, so that it's entirely contained within the beam. Make sure to do it to all parts, so that it's entirely contained. Now we want to place horizontal bars that will run along the beam. In order to do that, we're going to use the perpendicular to face placement option. So go to the Structure tab. Once you're in Structure, go to the Reinforcement panel and click on the rebar icon. Search through the shape browser until you find the shape of rebar that you want to use to reinforce your beam. We're going to go with rebar shape 17. Now select perpendicular to cover from the placement panel and begin placing your rebar. We're going to place it on the lower left and right corners of our beam, making sure the guidelines stick up. Press Escape twice to exit placement mode. Now we're going to adjust the graphics, setting the detail level to fine and the shading level to shaded. This will give us a good idea of what our model should actually look like. Now let's go back to 3D view. So you can see we have our beam here, and right now it looks like a plain beam, but it still has the rebar running through it. In order to actually see that, we're going to change the transparency on our beam. So click on the View tab, and then under Graphics, select Visibility Graphics. When the window pops up, scroll down the list to Structural Framing, and then under Transparency, click the Override button. You can set how transparent you want the beam to be. We're going to go with about 80%, which will allow us to see through the beam, but still make out its contours. When you zoom in now, you can see not only the stirrup that we originally had in the beam, but also the two rebars that we have running along the length of our beam. Now we still want to get a better look at this. We want to see this as a solid object. So what we're going to do is go over to the Properties window. Well, first we have to select the rebar, but once we've done that, we'll go to the Properties window, and then click Edit next to View Visibility States. Under View Type 3D View, View Name 3D, we're going to click the checkboxes that say View as Solid and View Unobscured. When you press OK, you'll be able to see an actual 3D rendering of your rebar. Go ahead and repeat the process for the other pieces of rebar, and you'll be able to see what your reinforcements should actually look like.